There's more news now from Andy Train's story of his journey to faith. You know, Andy's a Christian and gay, but he was in a heterosexual marriage and has a daughter. Church and choir were always important to him and to his family, but as he grew older, there were increasing demands on his time and attention.
In fact, there was a time where I was in the choir at Holy Trinity and I was in a house group with St Cuthbert's. That's the great thing about it. You know, you don't have to say, well, this is where I come. It is a lot easier if you just stick with one group and you kind of know what's going on. But it is lovely because I know people, even from personalities like Vickers, and you do move around and you do kind of, depending on what you need, really, for your faith, whether you need one thing or another.
You've said about having a personal relationship, but yes. I wonder how important it is for you as well to belong as part of a group with people who share that outlook.
Absolutely, and I think this is where the LGBT Christian Fellowship comes into its own, because it's just so wonderful and almost kind of a relief in a way to find other people that get me. And I get them, and they're not judging and totally accepting. There isn't this kind of hush thing behind you about should you be in here. I mean, I've got friends who literally I used to invite them to Christmas carol services. I thought, well, this is really, really lovely and it's Christmassy, and it's, I guess the general populace will kind of relate to that from a Christian point of view, perhaps. And I've got friends who seriously believe that if they walked through into the church, they would burst into flames, or it would just be the wrong thing to do. So you're not a vampire. You're a human being, and do we? I mean, I know lots of gay men who have, and lesbians who I guess have just kind of got on with their lives and continue going to church and just by stealth have survived. But I think that to be able to be yourself and to be open, if that's what you choose, is wonderful, and because it doesn't weigh you down.
Was there a point at which you thought that you were actually playing at being straight? You were a Christian, but you were playing at being straight. Or is that genuinely who Andy was then?
Yeah, I think there was certainly a period in my early 20s where I thought that I could choose, and that's what people could do. And on the other side of it, there wasn't anything out there visibly that I was aware of. I could speak to people. I mean, there's the odd occasional character that you kind of are aware of, and those people who on TV were kind of, I suppose, looking back, a bit stereotyped as far as how they are. And I still say to this day, and it is really difficult for maybe people to understand, that even when I got married in the church and everything I said on that day, the vows that were exchanged, and it was exactly where I was at the time. And I think that we have a journey. As human beings, we all have a journey, and I think even from a faith point of view, regardless of what faith you are, you're on a journey, and you have a very personal relationship with not only others, but within that faith group, but also, God.
More from Andy's story of his journey of faith next week on Sunday Breakfast.